What's up, everybody on YouTube? It's your boy, the MFSXLR8, coming at you with another top 10 list. This time, talking about the top 10 cards I believe should have entire archetypes made around them, much like our boys, the Thunder Dragon, as well as, well, Endymion, basically. So, we're going to take a look at some cards today. Of course, as always, if you guys have any discourse, if you feel like there's a card I'm missing, or a card you feel like shouldn't be here, let me know in the comments. I love hearing the discourse. And so today, let's go ahead and get a look at these cards. Starting off on this list, we've got number 10 at Clear Vice Dragon, a level 8 Dark Dragon Boy, who just focus around this old field spell called Clear World, which has effects depending on the types of monsters your opponent has. Their attributes determine what the field spell does, and Vice Dragon is meant to be on the board so long as you have the field spell. So, it's a very interesting old monster. I believe it's from, like, GX era or something like that. I don't remember. But, it's a very interesting monster. It'd be also an interesting idea to have an entire archetype based around it. Just a bunch of monsters. They have different effects based on the different attributes of your opponent's monsters. They have different disabling effects, different, sorts of battle-oriented effects. Lots of different stuff. And I feel like, something could be done interesting around Clear World and Clear Vice Dragon. If nothing else. That and he just looks damn cool. He's just a dragon encased in ice. Or mirror or glass. I don't know what he's made out of. Regardless, he's a cool dude. I'd like to see a deck made out of him. Number 9. Koitsu. Now, interesting story. Koitsu is the first level 10 monster I ever saw in this game. And to this day, I still don't know what the fuck he's supposed to be. I think he's based on some old game of Konami's origin. But regardless of that, him, and as well as a few other monsters that share his appearance and effects. They're an interesting bunch of monsters. They're all union-y boys that equip onto their normal brothers in order to boost their attacks by ludicrous amounts and give them, well, Koitsu gives piercing damage. Pretty sure Doitsu does not. But it would be an interesting idea to see an archetype based around these guys. Maybe you can do anything you want with them. You can make them into fusions. You can make them into links. Well, maybe not links. Make them a fusion bunch. I want to see a fusion of all 4 of these guys, like, right now. I want to see it. I want to see an archetype based around these dudes. If you want to add more monsters, I don't know. I never played the game they're based off. I'm sure there's something you could add into it. So, it would be an interesting thing. Just to see a really, really old card become a whole new archetype. That would be something. That's number 8. We have a newer card, Cracking Dragon. This thing is amazing looking. He has a whole bunch of effects. He can't be destroyed by battle with an equal or lower level. Of course, that means he's, completely affected by exceeds and links and stuff, but who cares about any of that? And when your opponent summons monster, this monster's on the field, you make that monster lose attack equal to its level and do burn damage. This guy's just an amazingly decent monster. He's got no summoning restrictions. He's got a nice 3K booty. I really like the black and green aesthetic. And just seeing this guy as an archetype in of himself, with a bunch of monsters sharing his coloring scheme, I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, that's just me, but I would love to see an archetype based around Cracking Dragon. Because look at this thing. He's amazing. Number 7 finds Powered Crawler, a nice level 7 machine monster. And I'm just going to leave it there. I don't even care what this thing does. This thing is amazing looking. It's this freaking spiky military battle tank, and I love that look. Can we turn this into the new, like, reactor support? Not even joking. Like, I would settle for that. I just want to see a deck that's all about military machines and, like, tanks and airplanes and stuff like that, just covered in spikes and death metal going in the background. That would be cool for me. Like, I would play a deck like that. No questions asked. I would play that. Number 6, gonna take a look at Big Koala. Now, this one's a little cheating because koalas are kind of an archetype. At least in, like, the anime. I mean, they're not really an archetype. There's only, like 4 or 5 koala cards in the game. And there's no spell trap support for them except for in the anime. But, I feel like koalas could be turned into an archetype. And granted, this was one that my buddy Necro picked up. But, let's get a koala archetype for Necro. Why not? You could do it. I don't care how you do it. Just make a bunch of beastie boys that are koalas that do whatever it is koalas do. And you can make that work. Alright, let's get to the top 5 here. Trihorn Dragon. This is an ancient dragon with triple horns who is unworthy. You know what? I feel like he is worthy. He is a worthy dragon. Let's get an archetype around this boy. He's ancient. He deserves something. You know, he's an old card. He just looks cool. It looks cool, and I'd love an archetype based around Trihorn Dragon. I don't even care what it does. Just make him worthy, Konami. He can be made worthy. You can do that. Number 4 on our list, we're taking a look at the Battle Guards. Now, Battle Guards kind of started becoming an archetype in the anime. They got a big old king dude and a couple trap cards, but that wasn't enough to quite make them an archetype. The idea of, all these level 5 monsters, you swarm them on the board, and then they give each other power, the power of brotherhood and all that good stuff. It sounds pretty cool. It doesn't have to be a super, amazing archetype. It doesn't have to be, like, super OP or nothing, but, give them a couple low-level monsters that are counted as the opposite. Like, if you had, like, a small Lava Battle Guard that treats itself as Swamp Battle Guard and summons a Lava Battle Guard. I'm getting the names mixed up here, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, if you get little monsters that summon the bigger lava and Swamp Battle Guards, and then, they all boost each other's attack points and all that good stuff, it'd be a pretty fun, straightforward, casual sort of beatdown sort of deck, and I can appreciate those. So, the idea of such a deck, I would enjoy. So, give them like, I don't know, give them like 6 or 7 monsters, maybe like 4 spell traps. No, just give them 4 spells, and maybe 1 trap, and then an extra deck monster of some version. I don't really care what, but yeah, definitely Battle Guards would be something I would enjoy seeing a deck made out of. Number 3 on the list, back to individual monsters, we're looking at Mantrotro. Look at this guy. This is a card I want to make an archetype out of. Why? Because it's funny. I mean, look at it. He already has an Ojama yellow in the artwork. He's clearly secret Ojama support. So I wouldn't mind just, slap Ojama on the name, call it Ojamanthro or something. I don't know. So Mantrotro, just a funny old card. He looks cool, and I would love to see an archetype based around him, just based around like swarming board with normie monsters, tributing them to, burn the opponent, and give them some spell traps that do other effects when normally monsters hit the graveyard due to a monster card effect. And he got something there. Number 2 on the list, Shape Snatch. He whose shaped was snatched. Now, Shape Snatch is a bit of a meme monster, thanks to our boy Rada. And just an archetype based around him, what would it do? Obviously, it would be the archetype to end all archetypes, but if we're being serious about it, an archetype based around stealing your opponent's monsters. Put a bow tie on every monster your opponent's got. Steal their stuff. That's what Shape Snatch does. He's a bow tie with horrible power, so let's get him. Just make an archetype out of him. Put like a dozen monsters that all have effects of equipping themselves to opponent's monsters and taking control of them or something through various means in different situations. Kind of like Psyframes, but less obnoxious. So, I think this would be an interesting idea. And the final monster on today's list. This is the one I've been waiting for. Gores, the Emissary of Darkness. Now, you look at Gores. Everyone knows Gores. He's the reason you don't attack with your highest attack monster first when you're going for a game. Gores is an amazing, death metal-looking brother. And you know what? An archetype based around that alone would be awesome. Just imagine a whole archetype of monsters that looked like Gores, covered in steel and the black and the red leather, and just death metal music going off in the background, with powered crawler. That would be an archetype I would play without hesitation. Just a bunch of things based around Gores, and you taking damage while you have nothing on the board. Just give Gores an archetype around that. The idea of a whole deck based around taking damage when you have nothing. Give them spell traps that work when you take damage when you've got nothing. That would be something interesting, and it would be something just ridiculous. Just you take a little bit of damage, and then whoop, there goes your whole hand, and dump it on the board, do all these crazy things. So just aesthetics alone, I would play an archetype that looked like Gores. I really would. So anyway, everybody, thank you guys for watching this quick top 10. It was a bit quicker than I figured it would be. But, you know, there's probably a billion more cards that could be turned into archetypes. So if you can think of any, leave them in the comments, and I'll think about it and give y'all my 2 cents as well. So thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to smash like if you enjoyed the list. And your boy Memphis will see you again next time.